Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, and what can I say? It's happening. Trump is surging all as DeSantis is imploding, just as we predicted. We're going to see precisely what's behind the massive swing to Trump in the polls, what DeSantis is doing wrong, and the massive backlash the demonic Democrats can expect from all of this. According to the latest Monmouth poll, President Trump has surged to a 14-point lead over Ron DeSantis. It represents an 8-point increase from February. Back then, DeSantis was beating Trump by 13 points, and he was beating Trump in virtually every single category: age, group, race, all for the exception of those making under $50,000 a year. They were still solidly behind Trump. All of that has now changed. Trump is dominating the field. Another poll out there today has Trump leading the pack by nearly 30 points. We're seeing the same thing with the latest Morning Consult poll, where Trump is leading DeSantis now by an astounding 20 points, up from 11 in January. Even in DeSantis' own state of Florida, Trump is leading the pack. Now, this is why all of us in this channel have been saying from the very beginning in all of this, we predicted that the Democrats were taking a huge risk in all of this. And just so we're clear, the case for betting on Trump in this indictment is relatively straightforward. It's basically twofold. First and foremost, American voters are overwhelmingly concerned about the double standards in our justice system. So in yesterday's video, we talked about a recent Trafalgar poll that found that an astounding 79% of likely voters believe that we lived in a two-tier justice system that favors political insiders. Now, just to underscore that, that includes 77% of independents. 8 in 10 likely voters believe that we have a compromised justice system that operates by double standards. So in launching what will appear as an obvious weaponization of the law to most people, the Democrats risk converting a number of those 80% over to Trump's cause. Again, it's not a coincidence that Trump saw his highest approval ratings the very same months he was impeached. People sympathized with him as a victim of weaponized legalism. In fact, at the time, the Mar-a-Lago raid, that gave Trump a 10-point boost over DeSantis. So that's the first thing working in Trump's favor. An overwhelming number of voters are concerned about weaponized legalism, and they are prone to sympathize with a victim of that weaponization. And then secondly, sex scandals, which this alleged hush money involves, simply don't sell well when involving presidents. Bill Clinton put an end to that. I mean, when Clinton got rocked with the Monica Lewinsky affair, it only ended up rallying the whole of his party around him, all the while discrediting his partisan opponents. And the result was that the Republicans got trounced in the 1998 midterms. Ironically, it was Newt Gingrich that ended up resigning as Speaker of the House. So weaponized legalism and sex scandals have an enormous potential for backlash, for backfire. And that's a serious risk that the Democrats are taking here. But even DeSantis is finding out that the current political dynamics greatly favor Trump. We've got new polling that shows precisely what looks like it will determine not just the primaries, but the general election itself. But think about it, gang. It's not just Trump's indictment. I mean, it's everything. It's bank closings, it's riots, it's economic collapses. They're all orchestrated by power-hungry globalists working their hardest right now to make you feel discouraged, confused, and defeated. But in all reality, if you think this all through, it's all nothing more than the Great Reset's last-ditch effort. All my research is pointing to the fact that the whole liberal world is falling apart, and it's more possible than ever to escape the Great Reset. But now I got a question for you. What do you want to see in terms of resources and strategies for escaping the Great Reset? You see, over the last month, I've been researching accounts, websites, resources, and more to help you escape the Great Reset with your family and with your sanity intact. So what I'm doing is I'm compiling all this research into a step-by-step guidebook to help you feel encouraged and prepared to escape the Great Reset. But first, I want to hear from you and what you'd like to see addressed in this resource. So all you have to do is just comment down below or send me an email directly at steve@turleytalks.com to let me know your thoughts. Together as courageous patriots, we are all rising up and saying no to the Great Reset once and for all. And I can't wait to share this resource with you, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts. Even before all of this indictment insanity, Rasmussen found that 67% of Republicans believed that rhinos, establishment Republicans in D.C., worked together with Democrats to defeat Trump in 2020. Gang, that's 7 in 10 Republicans don't trust the Republican Party. That's the kind of anti-establishment fervor that's fomenting among the populace as we speak. There's a growing sense that the gap between the people versus the political class is widening. The gap between our values, our interests, and our concerns, it's growing to such an extent, to such a chasm, that we're more and more being ruled rather than represented. And so this sense of antagonism towards the permanent political class, as it's growing, it's not a coincidence that Rasmussen found last week that Trump's overall favorability numbers were going up. He was hitting 53% favorability. DeSantis, on the other hand, is absolutely imploding. We noted earlier the Monmouth poll that saw his massive lead among Republican primary candidates in February just completely collapsed. He's gone from 39% in February down to just 27%. Overall, there's been a 27-point swing towards Trump since December. And, it's all tragic for DeSantis. He's absolutely blowing it. There's no reason for him to be politically suffering, except for the neocon snakes that still infest the donor and advisor class in the Republican Party. They're the ones who are doing this guy wrong. Word on the street, if you don't know, word on the street is that DeSantis' people have convinced him that this is his moment, right? That this indictment is going to take Trump out. And so now's the time for DeSantis to make his move. And that's exactly what we appear to be seeing here. He's making these utterly politically disastrous comments about Trump, assuming that Trump is going down in all of this. So he's trying to position himself as the post-Trump frontrunner right away. But all he's successfully doing is what? He's making himself look like he's just another establishment rhino. He's going from being the slayer of all things woke to now the defender of the establishment. That's the perception, and that's the political suicide, given the dynamics that are happening right now. We'll have to see how things develop here, but there's no question Trump is going to continue to massively benefit from all of this societal insanity. And unfortunately for people like Ron DeSantis and establishment Republicans, they're about to learn the new rules of a very new world the hard way. As always, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. You'll definitely want to check out my latest video on the nationalist right taking over the nation of Austria. It's awesome. You're going to love it. So make sure to click on that link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.